Good evening and welcome to Hot Edition of 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice.
And I am Alfred, Ocansey.
The news is also live on Casmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. On Facebook, we're streaming live on 3FM and 927. Coming up in the next 1.5 hours, Public Utilities Regulatory Commission says Ghana's power sector is under imminent threat as a result of financial instability of the electricity company of Ghana. We have details from a PURC letter detailing its concerns.
Well, organized labor is also expecting government to come up with a roadmap within 1 week on dealing with illegal mining. We have the details of this latest from organized labor here on Hot Edition.
Meanwhile, pressure group Democracy said to demonstrate on Saturday to back the demand for action on illegal mining.
And more on your election command center. We strongly dispute termination of Ejira Prestia Bogoso mining lease, as according to Blue Gold. Corruption scandals so common they no longer attract media attention. That's John Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC, mocking government. We have details of that. Plus, I never would have believed I would be in a wheelchair a decade ago. That's the former president, John Kufuor, fighting for persons with disabilities. We have details of that, plus the latest in business and sports for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
For now, though, Safwa Bwahine is here with a summary of the news. Safwa, what do you have?
Well, thank you, Beatrice, and welcome to the news summary segment. And on to our first story. The conveners of Democracy Hub, organizers of the Fix the Country and Occupy Jubilee House demonstrations, are yet to agree on a convergent point with the police on their planned demonstration of illegal mining. Announcing a 3-day protest starting on Saturday, September 21, the group demanded governance reforms to put an end to illegal mining, also known as Galamsey. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, says Ghana's power sector is under imminent threat due to the financial instability of the electricity company of Ghana. In a letter to the presidency, the PURC wants fiscal discipline and a directive barring the ECG from engaging in non-core activities. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has sacked the Director General of the National Sports Authority (NSA), Doji Numekevo, from his role. According to 3 sports sources at the Jubilee House, the decision takes immediate effect. President Akufo-Addo is said to have decided to relieve the DG of the Sports Authority of his post following news about the poor state of the country's football pitches. Minister of Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, has highlighted the government's achievements in the health sector. In a press briefing, he outlined major policies and strategic plans that have already been implemented by the government in the health sector. Also, International Energy Agency is expected to hold a debate for the vice presidential candidate for the various political parties today at 6:30 p.m. We look to bring to you more updates on this development. And on to our last story, the Ashanti Regional Branch of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has refuted the claim by the police that there was no shooting incident during the Enough is Enough demonstration on Tuesday, September 17. The police had said that there was shooting incident at the Kumasi office of the Electoral Commission and no demonstrator had been injured by the police. And this brings us to the end of our news summary segment.
Thank you very much, Safwa Bwahine. Let's bring you the details of our stories now. And Organized Labour says that it expects the government to outdoor a roadmap towards dealing with illegal mining within 1 week. This follows a meeting between the group and an ad hoc ministerial committee on illegal mining tasked to come up with solutions. Labour says that the government has so far accepted its proposals, but it's making further demands. Let me bring you some of the demands Organised Labour put out in a statement on September 11. I'll just read a bit of it to you. It says, in a recent statement, the Ghana Water Company Limited indicated its inability to produce the required volumes of water for the people of Cape Coast and Elmina, primarily because of the heavy pollution of the River Pra from activities of illegal mining. In 2022, the Ghana Water Company Limited shut down its water treatment plant in Chebi because the Birim River, from which water is pumped for treatment to the township and its environs, has been heavily polluted due to the operations of illegal miners. I'll go to some of the demands that they made, and they said an immediate declaration of state of emergency in line with provisions of the 1992 Constitution. That was a demand that was dismissed by the sector minister, who said there was no need to call for a state of emergency on that. Also, organized labor demanded that the declaration must incorporate the following: an order to halt to all forms of mining, legal or illegal, in forest reserves and around water bodies, immediate evacuation of all mining equipment in forest reserves and around water bodies, the deployment of the police and military with full orders to remove or destroy all mining equipment. I'll just read one last demand to you, and it said establish a special court to prosecute the perpetrators of this horrible crime, and it was signed by Joshua Secretary General as well as some other executives of organized labor. Now, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission is also saying that Ghana's power sector is under imminent threat due to the financial instability. The PRC wants fiscal discipline and a directive barring the ECG from engaging in non-core activities.
The state of ECG has always been of concern to energy sector players, with the failure of the distributor to make profits in successive years a topical issue. The company has recently blamed the trend on the depreciation of the cedi.
We have been able to bring down our losses to about 26.9%. We know it's not good enough.
For which, this year?
For this year.
Okay.
For 2023.
2023.
So we are hoping that in 2024, it will be far lower.
A letter written by the PRC to the presidency and the energy ministry describes the situation as being of grave concern. The PURC says the power distributor is facing imminent bankruptcy. It knows that its strategic role means a threat to the sustainability of the sector and the security of electricity supply, which could lead to a national security threat. It is therefore recommending enhanced fiscal discipline, a second look at power purchase agreements, an exchange rate regime, and an audit of ECG to assess its true financial position. It is unclear what steps government will be taking in the coming days to address these concerns.
And that was the News Desk report. Let me also bring you a summary of the concerns by the PRC that ECG is facing imminent bankruptcy due to severe financial difficulty. The situation threatens the operations of power sector players, including VRA, Gridco, Bui Power Authority, and the IPPs. The challenges have led to delays in salary payments and difficulties in covering administrative costs, i.e., underscoring the urgency for immediate action. Now, despite efforts to improve cash collection through digital and metering programs and significant tariff increases of over 75% since September 2022, ECG's financial instability persists. For June and July 2024, ECG declared revenues of 884.2 million Ghana cedis and 857 million Ghana cedis, which were insufficient to cover the monthly $47 million Tier A plus WAPCO's bill under the cash waterfall mechanism. The situation worsened in August 2024, with ECG's revenue falling below 800 million Ghana cedis, representing about 42% of the expected revenue needed to pay sector players. So really, how imminent is this situation that PRC is painting out for us? Let's bring in Richmond Roxon. He is an energy analyst and legal practitioner. He joins us live on the phone. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on Hot Edition.
Good evening, Beatrice, and good evening to Alfred as well and your listeners.
This appears to be a familiar story, isn't it? The worrying aspect this time is that the PRC recent upward adjustment of tariff is not improving the fortunes of ECG. Where do we go from here, really?
It's really unfortunate that consistently ECG is faced with these issues, because these issues have continued for quite some time now. If we take the last 3 years, for instance, in 2023, ECG made a loss for about 6 billion Ghana cedis. At the time, it was equivalent to about over $500 million dollars at the time. That was for last year alone. The year before, ECG made a loss of 10.21 billion Ghana cedis. The preceding year, that's 2021, ECG made a loss of 1.91 billion Ghana cedis. And any company that consistently has difficulties making technical and commercial losses will definitely face challenges of this nature. And we find it really unfortunate that till now, the distribution company, which is ECG, has not been able to turn things around.
ECG has not been able to turn things round. And of course, we had the boss of the ECG telling us that the new meters that were being installed was going to deal with the problem. It doesn't seem like ECG got the results it was asking for. In fact, PRC says it was only able to obtain just about 42%. What kind of holistic approach do you think we need at this time?
One of the main challenges that ECG has to do with technical losses. No matter the investment that ECG makes, if it's unable to deal with technical losses, it will face the problems it's facing. Commercial losses also comes in as well. You can't be supplied, for example, 1 megawatt of power, which is equivalent to, let's say, $1 million. You sell and rather you make $500,000 or $600,000. That is the commercial loss that we are talking about. For the new metering system that has been introduced, that is dealing with a portion of the problem that the ECG has when it comes to revenue collection. Even with that, the companies that consistently owe ECG or that contribute to the larger quota are government institutions. How many of these government institutions pay their bills? At the end of the day, when it's disconnected, you have the same government intervening and making sure that the power is restored. So yes, even though they've introduced new metering system, the problems will still persist because the technical losses and the larger part of the commercial losses are not being dealt with. Beyond that, they are also suffering when it comes to forex losses. We've seen how the cedi has depreciated significantly. Well, the power is not purchased in Ghana cedi. The power is purchased in US dollars. At the end of the day, if you supply and you are recovering your money in cedi and you are unable to even recover what was supplied to you, definitely are going to be where you are today. And also you have some of these PPAs that the ECG must take a second look at. We understand the government of Ghana said they had renegotiated parts of some of these PPAs. I remember vividly, we called that the Ministry of Energy should publish the renegotiated contract so that everybody will understand the new terms and then how and its impact or its effect on ECG. But so now we haven't seen any documentation. We've only been told that some PPAs have been renegotiated, but we don't have that data to confirm it. Moving forward, even if investment is made into ECG, even if you bring the private sector on board, and some of these technical and commercial losses are not dealt with, some of these management issues are not dealt with, some of these forex losses at the end of the day are not dealt with, or at the end of the day, you don't also take a look at the entire infrastructure that ECG has to be able to modernize it, you still have some of these challenges that they're looking at.
Now, when we started having conversations about the financial challenges of the electricity company of Ghana, one of the suggestions that came up was the need for us to privatize the ECG. Do you think that where we've reached, probably we need to consider this proposal?
I think we need to do that because consistently what we are seeing is that, one, a government that is the sole shareholder of ECG is unable to put in the requisite investment that it needs. That's the first thing. Secondly, we also are looking at management issues when it comes to ECG. The PRC itself has raised issues when it comes to management. It's also discussed the transparency when it comes to the cash waterfall mechanism. What the private sector would do is that you're looking at new investments, you're looking at new management skills, and you're looking at bringing in, replace some of these equipment. So yes, at the end of the day, we may consider that the government itself, through the Millennium Challenge Corporation, was considering privatizing the collection part of ECG. Maybe it's about time we look at some of these things. But like I mentioned earlier, if we're not careful, even if you introduce the private sector, and these fundamental issues still persist, like commercial losses, technical losses, forex losses. Anybody who takes over the company will still struggle.
Anybody who takes over the company will still struggle. We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Richmond Roxon. He's an energy analyst and a legal practitioner.
So live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, also on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Let's still stay with the issues of power. And Beatrice, if you look at the PRC's own analysis in terms of a comparative solution from the sub-region, PRC's letter also highlights successful interventions from other countries facing similar challenges. Notable examples include Kenya Power and Lighting Company listed approximately 50% of its equity on the stock exchange, raising non-tariff funding for critical investment. Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited, TANESCO, the Tanzanian government converted a government on-land loan of 2.4 trillion Tanzanian shillings into equity. Since 2022, TANESCO has consistently declared profit. Uganda's Umeme concession also involved the private sector in metering, billing, and collection services, resulting in a collection rate of 98.7%. So they cite these examples in Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, as a justification for the proposal for the ECG to, as it were, give room to some other ways of management and the private sector participation that is being proposed as we speak. But away from that, organized labor is saying it expects government to outdoor a roadmap towards dealing with illegal mining within 1 week. This follows a meeting between the group and an ad hoc ministerial committee on illegal mining tasked to come up with holistic measures and solutions. Labor says government has so far accepted its proposals, but it's making further demands. Let's look at the demands made by organized labor in their statement issued on September 11. First off, they say immediate declaration of state of emergency, revocation of law allowing mining in forest reserves, special court to prosecute mining offenses. Labor has since made additional demands after the meeting with government yesterday. One, adding the revocation of a law which declassified parts of Achimota Forest as a reserve. All political parties are expected, by Labor's demand, to sign a peace pact banning Galamsey. The outcome of the meeting, according to this statement from organized labor, quote, while government team accepted these proposals from organized labor, it further requested for additional time to engage other stakeholders to enable and develop a comprehensive roadmap towards addressing Galamsey in this country. This would also enable government to respond to the specific demands of organized labor within a week. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujanapom, meanwhile, says government will shortly outdoor the roadmap towards addressing the concerns of labor. He's been speaking at the commissioning of the Bibiani District Office of the Minerals Commission.
Some nation wreckers, motivated by their own selfish interests, continue to destroy our water bodies and forest reserves. We are aware that what we are dealing with is money, and the cartels involved will always try to find ways of outwitting us. But we will not relent on our efforts. We will continue to adopt the necessary measures to protect our water bodies, environment, and forest reserves. And anonymous cooperation and support will be invaluable. We welcome the various concerns that have been raised by several groups of people, as well as their recommendations for dealing with this matter. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has constituted an ad hoc ministerial committee under the chairmanship of the Minister for National Security to engage all stakeholders and to find a common ground to fight this menace. Yesterday, the committee met with organized labor, and in the coming days, we will engage with other groups of people to ensure that we come to grips with this matter.
As a Minister for Lands and Natural Resources there. Meanwhile, we're getting information as well that the Savannah Regional Security Council has initiated operations in mining communities along the Black Volta to address illegal miners who have taken over the river. If you go on our Facebook page, we're showing you videos of the impact of illegal mining in the Savannah region. My colleague Christopher Mwako traveled with the security operatives to Bamboy and Hasmall in the following report.
The team, comprised of over 40 personnel from the Ghana Police Service and immigration officers, Their first port of call was the Black Volta in Bamboy. The miners, on seeing the operations team, dived into the water and escaped, leaving their machines. Some also managed to bolt away with their Chamfan machines. 4 Chamfan machines were seized and set ablaze. A motor cane, gen sets, and other equipment used in their illegal activities were also seized and taken to the Bamboy police station. The color of the river is changing rapidly into a muddy-like state. Even though the security operatives declined commenting on camera, they expressed concerns over the level of impunity with which the miners are operating and assured that they will continue to torment their activities. Savannah Regional Minister and Chairman of the Regional Security Council, Said Muhaz Jibro, in an interview revealed that the fight against illegal mining is a national assignment at dealing with the menace.
You can clearly see when you were there yesterday the level at which
He urged the illegal miners to put themselves into identifiable groups to acquire community mining license.
I will ask the youth to take advantage of the community mining.
Meanwhile, government is under pressure from the citizens to place a total ban on all small-scale mining activities in the country.
For us as a nation,
this year, 2024, Lama Foundation, in partnership with the Water Research Institute, did a research. And it came out clearly that the Volta River that runs through Burkina to the northern part is polluted with mercury. And this has implications for the health of all of us. You know, so people are using mercury to mine and it's going to the water bodies and we are drinking, the animals are drinking, the fishes, and all that will affect our health. And nobody is regulating that. Or it's hard to regulate.
Some religious organizations, civil society groups, unionized workers' unions, such as the University Teachers Association, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, among others, have also issued statements condemning the activities of illegal mining.
That's Christopher Marco there.
Let's bring in some other issues, and still related to this, the conveners of Democracy Hub, organizers of the Fix the Country and Occupy Jubilee House demonstrations are yet to agree on a convergence point with the police on their planned demonstration on illegal mining. Announcing a 3-day protest starting on Saturday, September 21, the group demanded that the government reforms to put an end to illegal mining.
Illegal mining, or Galamsey, remains a significant threat to Ghana's environment, with forests, rivers and farmlands severely affected. As the crisis deepens, pressure is mounting on government to take decisive action. Last week, President Kufuor established a 5-member ad hoc ministerial committee to engage stakeholders and assess the government effort in addressing illegal mining activities. The committee is led by National Security Minister Albert Kanapa. The government has refused to declare a state of emergency despite calls from some civil society organizations. There are also calls for the government to ban small-scale mining as it seeks a lasting solution to the crisis. While demanding action, the pressure group Democracy Hub is also calling for the resignation of certain government officials, citing their inability to address the menace.
This is more than just an environmental crisis. It is the result of a much larger problem. A system built on greed, corruption, and bad governance that has failed to protect the interest of the people, especially the youth. You have a greater stake in this fight because the future belongs to you. It is your rivers that are being poisoned, your lands that are being destroyed, your livelihoods that are being stripped away. You will inherit the consequences of today's failure if you do not act now. We are not just calling for an end to illegal mining. We are calling for the resignation of those who have allowed this crisis to fester. We demand the immediate resignation of the following officials: the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, the heads of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, the Minerals Commission and the Forestry Commission. These are the individuals who have failed to protect our environment.
The group is set to begin a 3-day protest on September 21. However, there are disagreements with the police over the venue for their picketing.
We seem not to have reached agreements with the police, but the Constitution, as we have understood it, does not seek that we seek permission from the police. It asks that we inform them, which we have done. And so we are proceeding with this protest on Saturday as scheduled for 3 days, Saturday to Monday. The design of this work was to picket at the Revolutionary Square, and the police indicates that it's a security zone. The law doesn't state anywhere that we shouldn't walk around the Revolutionary Square.
The group maintains that addressing the Galamsey menace will require a comprehensive review of the governance structure.
And that was the News Desk report.
So live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. Also on W 93.5 in one beyond. Keep your thoughts coming through on 3FM 92.7 on Facebook. We're also live on X, and let the conversation continue. We're monitoring reports right now. We're getting of a raging fire that has swept through several wooden structures at Community 12 in the Tema municipality. Firefighters have been battling the blaze for over an hour now. Joseph Armstrong Gold is my colleague at the fire scene as we speak. He's going to be connecting with us shortly to have an update on this rather unfortunate development as we're getting information right now. There's a raging fire sweeping through several wooden structures at Community 12 in the Tema municipality. So we have eyes on that one. We'll definitely update you when we get through to my colleague Joseph Gold Armstrong Alowe. Now, the Eminent Persons Group, comprising leaders from Ghana's major religious bodies, is calling for peaceful and transparent elections in December 2024. In a statement, the EPG acknowledged past electoral violence and urged stakeholders to ensure fairness in the process. They particularly called on the Electoral Commission to address concerns raised by the National Democratic Congress regarding the voters' register. The EPG encouraged the NDC and other parties to engage in dialogue and exercise restraint, urging all stakeholders to prioritize the nation's interests. Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo is the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church of Ghana. He's joining us on the telephone. Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition.
Good evening, sir.
It's good to have you join us. And I do know that for you monitored the happenings yesterday across the country. The NDC led Enough is Enough demonstration. Their demands are quite clear. The Electoral Commission is also quite clear on their response to the demands, that they don't think that there is a need for any forensic audit of any sort of the electoral register. What's the concern of the Eminent Persons Group in all of this?
Thank you very much, and my greetings to all your cherished listeners. The concern of the eminent persons is that we are all looking forward to peaceful elections, peaceful, credible, acceptable, so that everyone in Ghana will live in peace. And so to find such things, demonstrations, agitations going on, a cause for concern, which we think that we should all agree to come to the table for dialogue and for negotiations. We know that these things do happen, and as we have heard severally on other platforms, this is not the first time. But at the end of the day, we all agree, and then we move on in peace. This is why the eminent persons are saying that if the NDC has any issues or what they call discrepancies, it will definitely come to the table of the EC. And so they should be ready and prepared to sit and to discuss so that whatever discrepancies are there can be addressed. That's what we are calling for, peaceful negotiation, peaceful dialogue, so that at the end of the day, we can have credible elections in December.
And Most Reverend, how different will this be from the meeting which was at the instance of the NDC? If you recall, two weeks ago, they requested a meeting with the Electoral Commission to present their issues to them, even before this demonstration. So in what form should this dialogue take differently from what has happened?
Well, I have also read the statement, the press statement from the EC, where they have thrown the, let me say, giving the opportunity to the NDC to come along with whatever discrepancies that they have identified in the voters register. And I think that it's what we are all looking forward to, because they are the institution, they are the body to look at whatever is in the register. They have the constitutional right, they have the legal right to look and clean the register. So if NDC has found any discrepancies, it should rest on their table, or you come along with it, you can list it. Whatever is there, you bring it, or when they call, you also sit down, because that is why the voter register was opened or exhibited. What don't we want in the register? Let us all, it is not a one person or one institution chance or opportunity to clean. It is for all of us, stakeholders. Even ordinary members have the opportunity to tell EC that this person died, this person did this person. So it is a collective thing that we all have to do. So if they have found anything, EC is saying that come along with it, let us sit down. But if it is not forthcoming, and then we hit the street, that is where it becomes a worry and a concern.
I get the feedback, especially from the NDC as well, talking to them that they indeed presented some of the evidence of what they had discovered with this illegal transfer of votes in instances where people's votes had been transferred without their consent to the Electoral Commission. But the Commission's position was that those issues had been addressed already. Meanwhile, some of the issues actually did exist. And because of the posturing of the Electoral Commission to the concerns they had raised, that's what led to the breakdown in trust and confidence that led to this demonstration. Most Reverend.
Well, you see, it's a process. I don't think it's just a one-time thing, because if indeed they have found discrepancies and they have given it to EC and said that this ABC, then you come back to see it again, then that is where you have to come back to them and tell them, look, we gave you A, it's all there. How do we address it? How do we clean it? You see, that is the only way. I used to have this story of going on demonstration against whoever. Whenever the demonstration ends, it ends at the door of the person you are demonstrating against. So it means that he or she or that institution has the power, has the will to address the situation. And that is why even their letters or whatever petitions they had, they were presented to. So it is the EC that can only address it. And that's why we are saying that the stance of saying that we have it, we will keep it to our chest, we will not bring it, will not address the issue. Well, the EC has given enough room, and said, let us have it, let us sit down. If there are still discrepancies, we can still resolve it. We can still address it. Yes.
Most Reverend, I don't know if, I'm sure you followed the NDC's position on the matter, but I get the sense that you tend to back the EC's demand that, if you have the issues, then present them. But it's not as though the NDC has not presented the issues to the Electoral Commission. Now, from what we do know, based on what the NDC has indicated, is that when they presented the issues, you had just said in your remarks you just made that after the issues are presented and correction is made, you would expect that, for instance, it is shown by the Electoral Commission that these issues have been corrected. The NDC says they demanded of the Electoral Commission that if indeed you have corrected the issues that you say that we brought to you, and you say you've corrected it already, let us see the correction you have done. The Electoral Commission refused to do that. That's concerning, is it not?
Well, I think that the EC has a timetable. They have a timetable for which they give us the opportunity to see what is in the register. All right. What is the process after the exhibition? If there are anomalies, if there are discrepancies, how is it addressed? How do we look at it to say that, yes, it is indeed done? It is when, at the end of the day, they come back with their certified voter register. That is where we can say that, oh, no, I made this point and it is not being corrected. Can we still look at it? Because that is where it will end, on the table of the EC. And you see, the point the eminent persons are also hitting at is the mistrust that is also taking a lead or taking a high point in these discussions. You see, there should be some kind of trust on both sides. Else, we will always hit the wall. Let us begin to trust ourselves, because the EC is the body that is giving the mandate to help us go through peaceful, credible elections. Yes, that's one. We are all calling for it. No one will want to be cheated in elections. So if we are calling for peaceful, credible elections through the register, this is the way. That's why EC came out and said, let's have an exhibition. That's where you found these discrepancies. You presented. Is that the end of the road, that there will be no exhibition again, or the register will not be given to you again? Definitely it will come out.
In fact, that's where the issue is, that the Electoral Commission says that they are not going to re-exhibit the register even after the correction of the said errors. Is that concerning for you?
Well. That one, then it means that we that is where we all have to come back to the table, and it's for all stakeholders. You see, let us understand the process. Those names that were to be expunged as a result of death, how do we get to know that they have been expunged? How do we get to know that these were illegally registered? How do we get to know? And I think if we sit down, all stakeholders come together, because it is not just for one party. It is for all of us. I said that my brother passed on. Now, when we come back, how do I get to know that that name has been expunged? And it is negotiation. It is dialogue. It is dialogue. And dialogue does not go to the street. Dialogue is around the table. Dialogue is in the room. Dialogue is through appeals to whoever has to come to the table. That's why we are concerned that if we should hit the streets, that one will not address it. No. But coming to the table is what will help us address the situation, which we are all calling for it. Peaceful.
Most Reverend Paul Boafo, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much, Ocansey. Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to you. Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo is the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church of Ghana. Beatrice.
Let's do a bit longer on politics, this time to the camp of the governing New Patriotic Party and its flag bearer. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has assured residents of Sege of constructing a sea defense for them when he wins power. He has also pledged to construct a harbour and the setting up of an automatic dispensing machine for premixed fuel for fisher folks at Sege. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was interacting with the residents as part of his Community Connect event, which is part of his campaign tour of the area. Take a listen.
In Sege, the fishermen want pre-mixed fuel. So we want to establish automatic dispensing digital machine for pre-mix here in Sege. We need a mini harbor here. We need a mini harbor. So we are going to work on bringing a mini harbor to Sege here for you. So that is a very, very important thing. Of course, the roads also need to be done. We have issues with roads in this part. And so we are going to deal with some of the problems that you have already raised for all of us. And then, of course, very important, we need to do the sea defense for this area. So I have a lot to do for you. If I come back in 4 years, I'll have to give an account. What have I done with the sea defense? What have I done with the premixed fuel? What have I done with the roads? I will give an account. The former president, he will not come back to give an account. Because I'll have to give an account, I'm going to work very hard to deliver for you. Because I have to come and give an account. I'll work very hard to give it to you. So I want you to give me the nod. You know, I have never been president before. I'm only a vice president. So if you vote for me, you will get a brand new tier robber president. Brand new tier robber president. Isn't it? Because I'm coming with new ideas, new solutions, new innovations. That's what I'm coming with. Brand new. As for the former one, we have seen his show already. And yes, isn't it? For him, if we vote for him, then you are getting a second-hand president.
And you heard the flag bearer of the governing MPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, asking you to vote for him come December 7. Now, with barely 4 months to the exit of President Akufo-Addo, the Bawumia government now... As in Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, nursing students in the Asunafo South constituency have expressed concerns over the unfulfilled promises of payment of nursing trainee allowances. Daniel Opoku is covering an event for us. He joins us live on the line. Daniel, what can you tell us about this concern coming from nursing students?
Right, so good evening to you, Beatrice. Currently, the Vice President is at Old in Ngo as part of his campaign, to which began this morning, and basically he has been selling his ideas to them, and he's talking about his policies that he will roll out when he comes to power. Basically, has to do with the rolling of the credit system that he will be rolling out when he comes to. But most importantly, when he met the residents of Sege, he spoke about their concern, where they were asking for a sea difference, which he promised was going to fix that, and also trying to fix their roads, and also creating a mini harbor for them, or for the residents in Sege. Now, he just completed with those at Old Ngo. He'll be moving to Pram Pram, where we'll be meeting with the traditional council and also engage with them, and also be able to say his major policies that when he comes to power, he'll be rolling out.
Thank you very much, Daniel Opoku. He is with the Vice President as he tour part of the Greater Accra region. Let's return to that story we brought you about fire within Community 12 Tema of some wooden structures. Joseph Armstrong is there. He joins us live on the line. Joseph, can you tell us what you can see?
Yeah, so Beatrice, currently I'm here at Tema Community 12, precisely a place called Trobodom in the Tema Central municipality, where fire has raised some structures here, and in between them some very big factories. But fortunately enough, the fire officials here have been able to douse the fire, still trying to douse it completely, so to prevent it from getting to the factories near the structure. So as we speak right now, the firemen, I can count about 8 fire attendants so far that have been brought here to douse the inferno, and the fire commander is yet to brief us on what exactly happening. But as it stands right now, the residents here, we are told it's an entire community. Sorry, the smoke. So we are told the entire community has been raised, and where the residents will sleep now is the challenge right now. So currently, we're trying to see what the regional commander has to say as to what led to this fire, and also the way forward, because it's been experienced too many fires in the region of late. Beatrice.
Sorry, Armstrong, about the smoke, but are you able to tell us the extent of damage from this fire?
So, Beatrice, as it stands right now, the extent of damage, I can count at least, if not less than 500 structures, more or less like container structures that have been destroyed. But for the wooden structures, they are completely gone because of the flammable nature. They are completely gone. They are burnt into ashes. And this is more or less like an illegal settlement where we have no less than 1,000 or so residents using as their place of abode. Unfortunately, tonight, they would have to find a place for themselves as the entire place has been razed by the fire.
Can you paint a picture for us where exactly within Community 12 this incident happened? Is it a complete slum, or is within the community itself? Where exactly did this happen?
So this is very close to the motorway. If you are from Accra, after the Abattoir, or after the underbridge, after the Ashama underbridge, you come forward as if you are going towards Tema. It's on your right, where you will see some illegal structures along the roadside, and we are told this place is called Trobodom to be precise, in the Tema Central district. That is where currently, as I speak to you now, the fire is busily consuming the entire properties these hard-working individuals have managed to secure for themselves here. Beatrice.
Be safe, Joseph. Thank you very much for bringing us that report from Tema Community 12. You just heard there, and he telling us that at least per his count, over 500 wooden structures have been destroyed by that fire, with firemen trying to douse the flame completely. Keep an eye on that, and as and when we do have information on this, we'll bring you the latest.
It's live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're live on Kesme 107.1 in Tamale and beyond, and also on W 93.5 in Y and beyond. We're back with the business news after this quick break. Stay with us.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Call 0302-200-390 or 0596-928-33 today and live a bill-free life. Bills Microcredit is licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Radio Development Show Host of the Year 2016-2017.
And the winner is John Hughes. Check.
Hi, my name is Johnny Hughes, your community rights advocate, and I'm still on the quest to bring smiles into your communities with Community Connect on 3FM 92.7. Join me this and every Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on 3FM, and together we will solve the problems bothering your communities.
I know your program is a program that always get a result. Myself, I'm a witness to that.
What can we do to help your community today in terms of education, health, sanitation, security, and all the issues in between from your community's perspective? Tune in to Community Connect every Friday morning at 9 a.m. as we get interactive live on radio and on Twitter at 3FM 927 and on Facebook at 3FM 92.7. Community Connect, helping solve your community problems.
Imagine a place where voices matter, where every corner, every street, every community is a platform.
A big bus moving through Accra, carrying conversations, questions, and the pulse of the nation. This is not just another show, it's your voice on the move.
Join us as 3FM Sunrise hits the road, turning ordinary streets into platforms for extraordinary dialogue. Speak freely, listen deeply, and help shape the conversation that drives Ghana forward.
Look out for the bus and tune in exclusively on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
Africa, are you ready? The countdown to the most explosive Afro experience of the year has begun. It's the 3FM Afro Connect 2024, happening live on Saturday, 21st September at the monumental Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. It promises to be a day filled with a display of Africa's dynamic cultures, pulsating beats, electrifying performances, and pure Afro vibes. Come and experience the infectious energy of Africa's great people in the most iconic food battle of the continent, the Jollof Wars. Which African country takes home the crown for the best jollof? You don't want to miss this epic celebration of Africa. The 3FM Afro Connect, 21st September at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Accra. Feel the pulse. Feel the vibe of Africa. Are you a vendor or international exhibitor? This is your moment. Come and showcase your unique products to thousands of culture lovers from around the world. Call 0532-200-927 or 0531-100-927 right now. 3FM Afro Connect 2024, where Africa meets the rest of the world. Sponsored by Fortune Ride, Frito Oil, Bills Microcredit, and
Fidelity Bank, Flora Tissue, and
powered by 3FM with the Media General Group. Follow us at 3FM 927 for more. 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. Coming up tonight, government confident about securing third tranche of the IMF bailout program. My name is Michael Obudu. I'll bring you details of that and more shortly. Please stay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Before we bring our top story, in a bid to enhance value addition of produce of small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs in the country's SME space, the Ghana Export-Import Bank, GEXIM, says it is establishing a modern food processing pilot plant in Accra. The project, dubbed the Pilot Factory, is part of the bank's financial and technical support to high growth potential SMEs under the government's newly launched SME Growth and Opportunity Initiative. Head of SME Department of the Exim Bank, Bright Evans Darko, expressed confidence that this would revolutionize the production process of many businesses in the country. He was speaking at the stakeholder sensitization on the SME Growth and Opportunity Program.
The pilot plant is a factory with so many machinery. The one being built is going to have about 240 different machines and a state-of-the-art laboratory. So, first of all, is product development. So, if you are there, I want to produce precursor drink or Tagana drink. Just go there, go home and sleep. They will produce it for you free of charge. Just pay something very small. So the product will be developed by them for you. Now, after they've developed the product for you and you are okay, they will help you with labeling, designs, packaging, what type of package you should use and everything. If you're an SME, you don't have any machine. They have state-of-the-art machines. They will start processing for you, package it for you. All you have to do is just go and carry your own goods and just go and sell. What it means is that very soon we'll have SMEs who have products but they don't have any factory.
Now, to enhance compliance and improve revenue generation, the Ghana Revenue Authority has established an IT and customer service training center focused on professional ethics in Tema. Lead advisor for the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office in the Ghana Revenue Program, Selom Segbefia, emphasized that the facility will enable GRA officials to deliver exceptional customer service to all clients.
So the Ghana Revenue Program is a development program working with the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance on two strands, one on tax policy and one on revenue administration. But today we are here because of one of the specific projects we support, which is to the customer experience unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority. It's been a journey, but the outcome of what we're trying to achieve is for GRA to become a customer-centric organization, where GRA are able to use analytics, behavioral science, behavioral analytics to figure out what the customers are looking for, sort of be ahead of their customers, give their customers a sterling experience. We all know that nobody wants to pay taxes, but one way you can get people to align to paying taxes is to at least give them good service.
So you heard the lead advisor for the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office for the Ghana Revenue Authority, Selom Segbefia, speaking there. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Alex Ampabing, expressed optimism that the facility will equip GRA officials to deliver excellent services and stay updated on current developments in the industry.
The purpose of this building is to offer IT and training packages for the GRA training staff. As you are aware, the world has moved, and it's time that we as an organization also move in that direction. The time when cops and robbers approach was adopted in tax compliance is no longer effective, and we want to build a collaboration relationship, a customer-led or customer-centric approach to engaging you, our customer. I refuse to call you the taxpayers because we are customers, we are partners in building Ghana. And I believe that this facility here, a first-class facility, provides the Ghana Revenue Authority with a platform to train its staff in delivering a service, efficient one, of course, to you, the taxpayer.
So that was Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Alex Ampabin speaking. Then away from that, the government has expressed confidence that it would be able to secure the third tranche of the IMF bailout program. According to Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abena Osei-Asare, government will begin processes to secure the money from next week. She was speaking on the sidelines of the SME Growth and Opportunity Program sensitization workshop held in Accra earlier today. And that will be all for today's edition of the business segment on Hot Edition. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next is Sports, and Kelvin is on standby. Well, let's get into the world of sports and starting from the camps of Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, where the head coach Prosper Nate Ogum has revealed how much of a toll the change of venue would have on the Ghana Premier League. In an interview with the general manager for Media General Sports, Michael Otieje, at the Dakojachi Training Complex, the head of the Porcupine team, Ogum, says that this is going to be a massive disruption on how teams play, as players would have to keep on getting better with the absence of their regular playing fields. Prosper Nate Ogum.
You have to always be on the move. Today, you are on this venue. The next time, you have to go to a different place, maybe because of, the venue not meeting a particular standard. So, when it happens that way, it affects, as you said, the flow of the team in terms of adaptation. Because today you are here, the next moment you have to move to a different venue. Even though we are going to Obuasi, I know the typical Kotoko supporter who really loves Kotoko will travel and come to Obuasi. And mind you, just as a reminder, and I think you know it already, if we go to Obuasi and we do well, still these supporters will travel and come there.
Well, that is from Prosper Nate Ogum, and as he indicated, Asante Kotoko's playing body and the technical team will be basing in Obuasi temporarily. Well, this would ensure the team has adequate preparation and less travel time for their home games. Well, the team is expected to reside at Sam Jones Estate and will train at the Ofori Park. Kotoko are expected back in Kumasi when the renovation at the Barbara Sports Stadium is done. Now, still on the issue of the stadiums in Takwa, the MCA for Takwa and Suyaim, Benjamin Kese, has taken over the TNA Stadium from the National Sports Authority due to the poor maintenance of the facility. He has gone ahead to form a 5-member committee to manage the facility for the next 1 month. Our colleague Francis Emma had an interview with him, and this is what he had to say.
If you attend to a program at the stadium, you realize that for the past 1 month, the washrooms are as dirty as you can think of. Most of the aspects or part of the stadium, critical part of the stadium are not functioning. So we cannot sit and wait to see the stadium go bad the way other stadia had gone bad. So we have taken our natural position, and then we have set up an interim committee to do that. In fact, we had our management plan. We discussed the plan with Gophers, thinking that it is going to go the way we expected. So now that things are going bad, even after 1 month, we have set up an interim committee to manage it till we fully operationalize our management plan. In fact, our management plan is a well thought through one. We consulted broadly, and then we have come up with the strategic, sustainable management plan, which we are going to use to run the stadium. But for now, an interim committee has been set up to see to the day-to-day management of the facility. We don't want to go into that state where Takwatu will have to go elsewhere to play football because NSA has done it in again.
So that is from Benjamin Kessie, the MCE for Takwa in Suaim constituency. Takwa in Suaim Municipal Assembly. Now let's quickly get into Accra to Folk, and they have decided to adopt the University of Ghana Stadium Legon for their home matches temporarily, as the Accra Sports Stadium is under renovation. Well, according to the Accra to Folk statement, the management have decided to go into this weekend's encounter as they use the opportunity to urge all Phobians to continue to offer their support to the team collectively so that their effort would yield the desired results. That is from Accra to Folk. Now let's move on away from the local scene. This evening some matches are coming up in the UEFA Champions League, about 4 of them kicking off at 7 p.m. But 61 minutes played in the game between Sparta Prague and RB Salzburg, and Kyrian as well as Olatunji and Quinty Lassie have managed to put that is Sparta Prague 3-0 ahead after 63 minutes. Bologna currently drawing goalless against Shakhtar Donetsk. Their match is coming up at 7. Celtic will be playing against Slovan Bratislava. There is Club Brugge against Borussia Dortmund. The biggest game for this evening, Manchester City against Internacional, and Paris Saint-Germain against Girona. Now to Manchester City, where John Stones has opened up on the difficulties he has been facing as a player in the last couple of months. According to him, it's been a very difficult period for him as he has reached a low time and even doubted himself to get back to the best of action for the citizens.
Maybe over a year period, wasn't playing here, wasn't playing for England.
Is that like 2020 sort of time?
Could be, yeah. Really low time, and didn't know what to do at the start. Was obviously struggling with not playing, mentally tough. You start doubting yourself massively, and I thought, I've got two roads to go down: accept that and move on, or stay and fight. I wanted to prove to myself that I was good enough and deserved to be here. Went back to the drawing board really, and worked harder, looked at every aspect in my life, down to my food, down to my gym, sleep. Tried to look at everything that I could to become a better player and better version of myself, and fortunately it worked out.
So that is from Johnstone's. Very difficult time is being for him. Now let's get into Arsenal, and Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta says captain Martin Odegaard has suffered a significant ankle injury after the midfielder was hurt on international duty. The attacking midfielder sustained an ankle injury in Norway's Nations League clash with Austria earlier this month, something that reduced the 25-year-old to tears. Now manager has revealed that the former Real Madrid man will have a longer spell on the sidelines, but hope it was something that will go on for months. Now, the Spaniard reporters on Wednesday, after recent scans, the scans have showed that he is getting some damage, especially on one of the ligaments in the ankle. It's quite something significant, so we are going to lose him for a while. And this raises questions of the packed schedule for footballers coming up. And former Chelsea captain and defender John Terry has rubbished the idea that players don't care about the Club World Cup, as concerns have been raised about the number of matches being played by footballers across the globe.
Well, I've been asked this a couple of times, or as a player, it's like, do you really care about it? Absolutely you do. So 100% as a football club, we're going to be prepared to go there and be looking to win it. And obviously there's some really top sides there as well. But from a player's perspective, it's been thrown at kind of my generation, the generation after me, that doesn't really matter. It does. 100% this matters. So as a football club, we're excited and delighted to be there, and we're going to come and bring our best players, our best squad, and give it our best opportunity, because I think that's what the fans want to see.
So that is what the fans want to see, according to that is John Terry, but they need to think about the players too. Well, these are the words of John Terry. But before we get into our final story where we talk about boxing, there is a game in the Spanish La Liga currently going on. Real Betis are drawing goalless against Getafe, 49 minutes played. In the EFL Cup round 3, Brighton will playing against Wolves at 6:45. At 7 p.m, Coventry City will welcome Tottenham Hotspur, and Ajax currently lead Fortuna Sittard in the Divisie. So these are the games that will be coming up for some of the matches. And in some related football news, AS Roma sacked manager Daniel De Rossi this morning after 4 matches into the new season. Roma, who had De Rossi to replace Jose Mourinho at the Stadio Olimpico in January, have been unable to win any of their Serie A matches this season, drawing 3 and losing at home to Empoli last month. Roma are currently 16th in the Serie A standings following their 1-0 draw at Genoa on Sunday. A club statement revealed the club's decision is taken in the interest of the team to be able to promptly resume their desired path at a time when the season is still at its beginning. So the former captain of the side has been relieved of his duties. And finishing off with some boxing news, Alexander Usyk has been released after being detained in Poland on Tuesday night. A video emerged on social media of the unified world heavyweight champion in handcuffs at Krakow Airport before the Ukrainians' expected arrival in London for the Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois fight at Wembley on Saturday. Usyk was deemed not fit to travel, but he was attempting to explain that he was exhausted after 14 hours of traveling from Kiev in Ukraine. Usyk later took to Instagram to say it was a misunderstanding with the local police. There is more sports news on 3news.com/sports and also 3sportsGH across all the socials. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Hot Edition continues shortly.
Africa, are you ready? The countdown to the most explosive Afro experience of the year has begun. It's the 3FM Afro Connect 2024, happening live on Saturday, 21st September at the monumental Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. It promises to be a day filled with a display of Africa's dynamic cultures, pulsating beats, electrifying performances, and pure Afro vibes. Come and experience the infectious energy of Africa's great people and the most iconic food battle of the continent, the Jollof Wars. Which African country takes home the crown for the best jollof? You don't want to miss this epic celebration of Africa. The 3FM Afro Connect, 21st September at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park, Accra. Feel the pulse. Feel the vibe of Africa. Are you a vendor or international exhibitor? This is your moment. Come and showcase your unique products to thousands of culture lovers from around the world. Call 0532 200 927 or 0531 100 927 right now. 3FM Afro Connect 2024, where Africa meets the rest of the world. Sponsored by Fortune Ride, Frito Oil, Bills Microcredit, and
Fidelity Bank, Flora Tissue, and
powered by 3FM with the Media General Group. Follow us at 3FM 927 for more. 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
Thank you very much, Kelvin Owusu-Ansah, for bringing us the latest in sports. And yes, here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Let's bring you some more. And the West African Center for Counter-Terrorism is warning the 2024 polls could be characterized by violence if preventive measures are not put in place. And Wisdom Safo has more in the following report.
Ghana's electoral history has generally been successful, though without incidents of violence. In the 2020 elections, 8 people tragically lost their lives in Techiman, escalating tensions. As campaigns for the 2024 elections gain momentum, the political atmosphere is growing increasingly heated. The opposition NDC is calling for a forensic audit, while some remarks from members of the ruling New Patriotic Party have raised concerns over potential incitement. The West African Center for Counter-Extremism has raised alarm over the high risk of violence in the upcoming 2024 general elections, according to their yet-to-be-released report scheduled for October.
Given our preliminary assessment, it's almost impossible to have this election, this campaign and election take place without serious incidences of violence. And it's important that we are deliberate about how we engage in the process to ensure that we do not record serious incidences of violence in this election process.
At a press conference in Accra, the centre's executive director, Mutari Mumin Mukhtar, urged the Electoral Commission to engage political parties in a consensus-building process, especially on critical issues such as the voter register. He emphasized that building trust is crucial to reducing the projected violence.
I think one of the most important things that the Electoral Commission needs to build at the moment is to build consensus and ensure inclusive processes in dealing with the issues from now to the elections and after elections. And so in the spirit of that, I think it's a good call to listen to calls for forensic audit of the register. And in fact, this is not the first time we're seeing calls for that. In previous elections, we've seen that. Under the NDC and under the MPP. And so this is not the first time we're seeing that. And if we look at the atmosphere, it's quite tense. And so the EC needs to build consensus, whatever measures they need to put in place to ensure that the processes are inclusive and that they are listening to other voices and ensure that we do not encounter violence resulting from the decisions they should have taken or should not have taken.
And you heard the executive director of the West African Center for Counter-Extremism, and in that report by Wisdom Safo. Now, nearly 282 million people in Africa are undernourished, and an increase of 57 million since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's coming from UNICEF. More than 1 billion people are also unable to afford a healthy meal, with the situation projected to worsen if appropriate solutions are not found. Stakeholders at a capacity building workshop for some select journalists and communicators on micronutrient deficiency in Africa are calling for a multi-sector collaborative approach to addressing the issue. My colleague Sarah Apinkro is in La Côte d'Ivoire. She joins us live from there via video call. Sarah, first of all, just tell us more about this workshop and what it does really seek to address.
Right. So I'm outside the premises of the conference venue here in Abidjan, where a number of us journalists and communicators are here for a capacity building training workshop, where we are being informed about the gravity of malnutrition within the sub-region, the need for us as communicators to use our avenues to educate the people, to influence behavior change, inform the policy makers. The conference is also expected to bring together a clear-cut guidelines for leaders, governments from the various countries to follow through, which is suitable for their local people to ensure the situation is addressed.
Sarah, beyond what I just talked about, what are the experts saying about the issue? Any clear-cut guidelines to address this?
Yeah, a number of experts and dignitaries have passed through the opening ceremony to engage with we journalists, and one of them is the Vice President spokesperson here in Abidjan, in person of Dr. Patricia Inwoban, who has been speaking about some of the interventions they are putting in place here in Abidjan, which is like a best practice for other leaders to follow. And I've also been speaking to the UNICEF Deputy Country Rep here in Abidjan, in person of Mariama Stebu, who is actually championing the need for
I'm sorry, Sarah, we have to end that conversation there. Seems it's raining there. But Sarah Pinkro, my colleague, participating in that workshop, consultative training happening in Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. Thank you for joining us. Now, the Minister of Roads and Highways says that the NPP's impressive road infrastructure improvement is carrying the position National Democratic Congress. Francis Asenso-Boakye was responding to comments made by the flag bearer of the position National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, that the NPP has not done much in improving the country's road networks. Listen.
A campaign event in the Botiano English Amount from constituency in the Greater Accra, John Mahama questioned the MPP's claim of constructing over 12,000 kilometers of roads across Ghana in 7 years. The flag bearer of NDC expressed doubt about the accuracy of the figure, citing lack of visible evidence to substantiate the government assertion. But the Roads and Highways Minister, Francis Asenso-Boakye, has been responding to the issue.
Our solid, unprecedented achievement in the road sector is serving as a major source of frustration to the opposition. And as a result, even the former president himself had the cause to wonder where the roads are. The point must be made emphatically that between 2017 and end of 2023, the Kufuor-Baumia administration had constructed an impressive 12,830 kilometers of roads compared to the 4,636 kilometers achieved by the previous administration.
The minister has been touring ongoing works on some roads in Kwabri East and Efija Kwabri in the Ashanti region. Asenso-Boakye disclosed that work on the dualization of the Tafo Road will soon commence to bring relief to users.
Those of us from Kumasi, we know the challenges that motorists and road users face along this corridor. For about 15 years, residents and road users have experienced a series of congestion. And that is why government is taking yet another important road intervention in Kumasi.
Residents and motorists are excited with the announcement. They, however, expect government to deliver as promised.
You can't work here and go around 6. You wait till 10 p.m. So when they realize it, I think we can go home early. We hope that this one, once they promise it, they also do it.
And I'm the traffic because of traffic.
And there was a report filed by Ibrahim Abubakar, which contained the response of the Roads Minister Asenso-Boakye to the comment made by the flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Mahama, earlier. Now, 14 young Ghanaian men set out on what they believed would be a life-changing journey have had to perhaps regret that step. Promised secure job opportunities in Russia, they left their families behind full of hope and anticipation. But instead of fulfilling their dreams, they found themselves caught in a living nightmare, deceived and trapped in the midst of a war they never signed up for. Godwin Asidiba has more in the following report.
Yes,
14 young men from Ghana embarked on a journey they believed would change their lives forever. Lured by promises of secure, well-paying jobs in Russia, these men left their families behind with hopes of building a better future. But what was meant to be a life-changing opportunity turned out to be their worst nightmare.
Again, an uncompleted building, and then this is one of the buildings they destroyed. Okay. Let me show you around. Much will go on. Check inside. Check so one man. Check inside.
It all began on Sunday, August 4, 2024, when the men said their goodbyes and boarded a plane filled with dreams of success and providing for their loved ones. They arrived in Russia on August 6 through Togo. Their hearts were filled with anticipation, but from the moment they touched down, things took a chilling turn.
Things took a chilling turn, and we'll bring you more of that report by Godwin Asidiba on TV3, also here on Sri FM and on all our socials. Before we go, members of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union TEU of TUC Ghana in the public and technical universities are joining the Senior Staff Association Universities of Ghana and the Federation of Senior Staff Association of Ghana on an indefinite industrial action with immediate effect due to some unresolved issues. We'll bring you more of that later as well. My name is Beatrice. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to ShriNews.com for more news. Have a good evening and do enjoy the rest of our programs.